Please read this video release consent so we can publish the video from today's session. Thank you. Now I would like to call my president from Bhinneka Toastmasters, Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club, who is also the double winner of evaluation contest and Pipit's international speech contest in District 87, Natali Cahyadi.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Pipit Andriani. Hello, everyone, and thank you for this privilege of joining Table Topic Marathons in August 21st, 2021. It is our privilege as Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club to participate in this wonderful event. Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club was started on December 2020 after 2 demo meetings. So we're quite new on the block, only about 8 months old. Toastmasters in Indonesia has had solid base in bigger cities like Jakarta, Surabaya, Medan, but it was not available in smaller cities in Indonesia. The original idea was to create a club that can be a connection hub for people from those areas of Indonesia, from the very tip of the West to the very end of the East. With Online Toastmasters Club that became a normal happening since last year, this idea became visible. We are grateful that many people are receptive for this idea, and we got 23 members from 10 different cities in Indonesia, as well as 3 overseas members. We chose the name Bhinneka, which means diversity, to represent different walk of life and different cities that we all came from. And this inspiration came from Indonesia's own Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which means unity in diversity, a vision that we hope to see flourish in our club. We also have our club values, as simple as ABC: appreciate our club member, build each other's up, and celebrate our successes. We warmly welcome you to come and experience our club meeting every first and third Sunday, 7 p.m. GMT plus 8. So remember, first and third Sunday, 7 p.m. GMT plus 8. Get connected on social media.
Thank you, Natalie. We need to go straight to the table topic session now.
Okay. Thank you. Back to you, Pit.
Yes, sorry, we're under the crunch of time right now, but let's choose the first speaker. Malaysia, Kevin, are you ready? Thank you, President Natalie. Yes or no, Malaysia, Kevin? Yes? All right.
No.
Yes, the question for you is, do you think crying is a sign of weakness or strength? Do you think crying is a sign of weakness or strength? Kevin?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Just now you just paused. I couldn't hear the full question.
It's in the...
Oh, okay. Okay. Am I audible?
1 minute, please. Pipit, can you start the recording?
I have started the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I'll start now. Do I think crying is a sign of weakness or strength? I say it's kind of both, actually. If you ask me if crying is a sign of strength, yes. And if you tell me again if crying is a sign of weakness, I'll say yes. When you cry, I don't think it should be considered a strength or weakness as well. It's just a reaction to something. The first time I cry is when I was in pain. That's normal. If you didn't cry when you're in pain, I would say you have great tolerance for pain, or there's something weird about you. Not bad weird, it's just weird. If you ask me if crying is a sign of strength, I have not seen anything that indicates whether or not crying will be a sign of strength. I do, however, have seen one time that crying would be considered a sign of strength. When you try, when someone got a certificate, invitation to go somewhere far away to work or to study, they will have a moment of joy, but later realize that they will have to leave their loved ones behind so that they could improve their skills. At that moment, everyone will probably cry, but also stay strong so that the person can live out their dream of becoming better than themselves. So crying cannot be considered weakness or strength. It is a reaction to something that you feel happy, that you could feel happy about or sad about. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin from Malaysia. Next speaker, I would like to call Rendra. Are you ready, Rendra?
I'm ready. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. The question
Cool.
is, what is the difference between living and existing? What is the difference between living and existing? The chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters on entire planet Earth, living or existing. To be honest to you, if you see orangutan in Borneo Islands, they are existing. If you see me here, I'm both existing and living. Ladies and gentlemen, being living and existing is two parts of existence of a humans or creatures on Earth. Well, to be honest to you, if we have a symptoms of livings in our body, in our lungs, in our hearts, it indicates that we are living. But being existing is another part of life. Well, in a current era, 2021, everyone can be a living persons in a planet, including existing. Both are the options that are available to choose. Yet, being existing nowadays, if you are available on TikToks, Instagram, Facebooks, and social media, ladies and gentlemen, living and existing is the options that we can take together, both of them, because we are the human has brains and we are evolutioning every centuries. And for this now time being, we have the right to choose which ones that we are belong to. It is only living or it is both. My case, I'd rather to choose both because those important parts of me, myself. So ladies and gentlemen, living and existing can be coexistence. It's up to us to choose which one is the best for us. But if you are a social person on Earth, being both coexistence is the best choice. I give the control back to Pipit.
Thank you. I would like to call the next speaker, Anurag from India. Are you ready, Anurag?
Yes.
Okay. The question for you is, would you break the law to save someone you love? Would you break the law to save someone you love?
Okay. I would agree with this topic that yes, whenever the situation will arise, I will break the law to save a loved one. From the last year till now, we have seen that the corona pandemic has forced everyone to come across this situation, when the loved ones were getting suffered in front of our eyes, and most of us have to take them to the hospitals, or maybe some to get them treatment, to get the proper treatment to them. And in that case, that the situation has forced many of us to break the law. And if luckily for me that I don't have to face such a situation, and I myself wasn't affected by corona, and I thank God for that. But in the daily news and newspapers, I was seeing such situation, and from April this year, I was seeing that this situation was happening, especially in India, when oxygen was not there. There was a crunch of oxygen. People were lying there outside the hospitals, uh, lying down outside the hospitals on the streets, uh, demanding oxygen to survive, but they were not getting oxygen. There was so much chaos that we have seen. Even I have heard stories from our colleagues at companies that the situation was there. Even the even if there are employees, and even if the situation is from managers, everyone was getting suffered. So yes, it was a difficult time for all of us, but I just hope that we come out stronger out of it. And I just hope that everyone is safe. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Pipit.
Thank you so much. Now, can I call Mala? Are you ready, Mala?
Yes, TTM Pipit.
Okay. Question is, what life has taught you recently? Oh, sorry. What has life taught you recently? Mala.
Hey, look, this is the time for doing everything. Hey, look, this one, you have to finish the deadline. You have to do this one, and this one, this one. Look at this time. We have to finish with these things. Fellow Toastmasters, did you realize that we are living in a very fast world? Everything requires time. And then sometimes it makes us forget to do, reflect, and review. I just recently read a book, and then also during the personal reading, I also find out that the concept of reflection and review is very important. It is important to exist, to do everything fast, but at the same time, you also have to be aware of your strength and also things to be improved. And the most suitable way for me is to do reflection. There are many experiences that I have through, but then I realized I have to learn one by one. It's not just doing it and then pass from one experience to the other experience, but I also have to reflect things. What should I do? And then what should I be grateful? And that is the thing that makes us live. If we are living in the world of hurry pace like this, we tend to forget to being grateful for what we have. And we also need to stop comparing ourselves to others. So what has life taught me a lot is to reflect and to review, to the things that I've experienced, to hit the things that I've passed, to let go the things and to learn from it. Thank you. Back to TTM.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mala. I would like to call Toastmaster Zafar. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Question for you is, what is the most defining moment of your life so far? What is the most defining moment of your life so far?
Imagine the stage. There was hundreds of people sitting in front with their eyes glued on you. And this was a 10-year-old boy in his school uniform here in Singapore, and I guess in many parts of the world, when you are in primary school, you're wearing shorts. And I was there on the stage looking out. My legs were trembling, feeling like jelly. And I'm supposed to be telling a story. It was a storytelling contest. And when I looked up and all these prying eyes, I totally lost myself. I didn't know why I was there. I didn't know what I'm supposed to speak. I didn't know why I was existing or even living for that moment. And on that day, it was a defining moment for me because I did not tell the story. I walked down from the stage with my head lowered down, full of embarrassment. And I told myself, this is not going to happen ever, ever again. And if you're thinking that I'm going to be courageous and brave, sadly, it was not. I told myself, I vowed to myself that I'm never, ever going to take part in another contest, never, ever going to be on that stage where there's going to be prying eyes. 20 years later, that was the truly defining moment for me. When I decided to join a club that can challenge me, that can make me a better speaker. Today, I'm a keynote speaker, a trainer. And if I have to say that the 10 years old was a defining moment and 10 years later defined my life. Back to you, Toastmaster, Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Zafar. Yes, inspiring me to be a keynote speaker as well. Thank you. So let's go to Megan. Please note, people, I will prioritize those who have their camera on. Right, Megan, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, question for you is, which one is more important, to love or to be loved? Which one is more important, to love or to be loved?
My younger self, when I was in high school, I would just say, I want to be loved by everyone. Fellow Toastmasters. That day, when I was in high school, I was a debater. And as a debater, of course, I am a person who's really argumentative and then pretty logical. And sometimes I bend the rules. It's not breaking the rules. It's still within the rules, but yeah, kind of bending. So people think that I am kind of like a cunning person. So being loved is not an option when I was in high school because everybody seems like to hate me. And I am becoming the person that people hate the most because I still can able to seems breaking the rules, but not being punished by that. So later on the year, after I work, I found out that being loved is the thing that I really want to have. That way, I started to join a lot of organization, a lot of volunteering, a lot of experience that involving other people just to be accepted as a person, just to be friends with others, because having friends is a kind of luxury for a person who is really argumentative like me. And then I started to realize after I have friends who's staying by my side, and rather than being loved, the things that are feeling really great to be friends is to love, to giving others companion and being friends to others. So that's how I learned I can be friends and I can be myself. and still loving others. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Pipit.
Thank you. Now I would like to call Aileen from Malaysia. Do you want to try? Please unmute. Aileen.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Question
Yes.
for you is, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be human, Aileen?
Thank you very much. To be human means you must have a meaning to this life, in this life itself. You need to have the values, humanistic values, to be kind, empathetic, understanding, loving, and you are willing to share what you have with others, your neighbors. That's living, to be a human. Like animals, some of the animals do have feelings, but I see some humans do not. So we must have the humanistic values, the basic values. Just be a good human being. The moral must have the universal values of kindness and be ready to help others. Well, no matter who we are. Like now, we are from Singapore, Indonesia, anywhere. There must not be any discrimination. And we must fight for human rights. Because to be human, we have the freedom of speech, to live, to survive in this world. That's being human. Not to be cruel, to have wars and misunderstanding, stabbing one another, killing, bombings. Let's stop all that. That's not humanistic. So I call upon all Toastmasters. Let's share these values. Let's spread love to all the nations, everybody, through Toastmasters. We can teach them what being human is. Back with the human values, not like living, like be existing, but to live in this world. Just practice human values, humanistic values. Disregard of religions. Some religions, we just practicing culture. But let's all go back to the basic human values. Thank you very much. Back to the table topic master. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We learned something new. Now let's go to Michael.
Thank you.
Right, question for you, Michael. How do you know when it's time to continue or time to let go? How do you know when it's time to continue or time to let go?
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, have you ever seen a picture? Two people digging the mining and one stopping in the middle and one is like stopping right almost next to the treasure. Like the meme, quite popular a few years ago and until this day, I believe. That picture actually simulate like when to stop and when not to stop. But that picture specifically, it encourages us to not stop. The problem is like this. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. For example, I got an offer to work in Qatar a few years ago. And then I decided not to take it as a manager, that position at that time, but for a young company. At the time when I rejected the position as a sales manager, I was thinking that, oh, did I miss my chance like working internationally in Qatar, in Doha with this kind of quite okay positions instead of starting from the beginning. But one guy named MJ DeMarco, he mentioned that we could not predict our future because I didn't know what would happen, what would have happened in Qatar when I took that job. When I had taken that job, maybe I could be killed by bus or I could not make it my flight to Qatar or whatever reason it can happen. So whatever reason, actually, we could not predict which one is better, which one is worse. So when is the right time to stop? We cannot predict. The only way is like just doing what we have in our table in the best manner possible, because no one can predict. So yes, don't think about it, just think about what we can do. Over to you, Titi and Pipit. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to call DTM Anda from Malaysia. You want to try? No? I saw you.
Because I'm going to be the table topic master.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So I'll call Fatma, Jana. You want to?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Question for you is, what is the number one thing you want to accomplish before you die? What is the number one thing you want to accomplish before you die? Fatma, Jana.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters. The number one thing that I would like to accomplish before I die is to create my own tech company where we can help a lot of people. It's not only about the business, but how I can contribute to my country. This company should be able to help those in need, not only for them to be able to eat or to be able to have clothes, but for them to be able to work and continue their life. I would like to diminish the poverty in Indonesia. I would like to end poverty, not only end hunger, because the poverty in Indonesia, it's like a system. Each family that has the poverty issue, that has low income, it has come from generations to generations. And now we also know something that is called sandwich generation, where adults have to provide for their family, but they still need to provide for their parents as well. My goal is to create this company where the technology can help people not only to get their food, but also for them to be able to work by increasing their value, by increasing their skills. I want them to be able to work in tech as well, even though they don't have any tech background, even though they don't even have any educational background. But I believe everyone can learn. I believe everyone has the chance and the opportunity to be anything, to be any kind of person that they would like, as long as they have the facility, as long as they have the chance and the opportunity. And I want to be that person who provides the chance for a lot of people, especially for Indonesia, because we have quite a number of people, but we are still facing the same issues over and over the decades. It's still the same issue, but there's no solution yet. So create the company and solve a lot of problems in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, actually, our session right now is very efficient, I would say. Not that I self-compliment, we're actually ahead of time, although we started late. So I would like to call Juliani, who has kept her camera on since the beginning. All right, so question for you, Juliani. Actually, probably we can even squeeze in one or two more speakers, but I don't know. How do you deal with isolation and loneliness? How do you deal with isolation and loneliness? Juliani.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. How I should deal with isolation and loneliness. Okay, there are so much things that we can do. We can, right now in the pandemic time, we have a lot of time to spare for ourselves. We can, from the technology informations, there are some helpful guidance that help us to follow. For example, I like gardening. There are many things that I can learn from the gardening topic. Also, I joined Toastmaster where I can meet new friends. There, I feel that I have more friends instead of I'm alone in my place. I also work, but somehow I have limited circle of networks in my work. So to have new friends, new network in Toastmaster. That's also helped me to be out from the isolations. It is not about isolation is, we are isolating, we cannot go anywhere, but somehow we need to also open the isolation in our mind that actually this world is big enough. The words offer us many things, and that's the worlds that we live in, and we need to live with our best. We can, although the situation is bad right now, but there are so many things we can achieve. We can keep the high fighting spirits, because this spirits, this is what we need right now to be able to overcome, uh, to manage these situations. Thank you very much. Back to you, Titi and Pipit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Juliani. Now, actually, I would like to squeeze in more speakers, but someone told me no, stick to 10. But I will pass on the note to the next table topic master to choose Rita and Vincent, Rita from Malaysia and Vincent from Singapore, because they had their camera on since the beginning. So I would like to give them some appreciation. Thank you so much. The next one, I would like to call the first evaluator, Toastmasters Ben, who will evaluate the first until 5th table topic speakers.
All right, thank you, Pipit. Well done to all 5 speakers. Again, I like the time efficiency, so we were kind of flying right through. Let me ask our timer, was all the first 5 speakers met the time standard? We can't see. Is that right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Looks like it's good. Okay, sweet. That's good news. All right, so Kevin from Malaysia, good job. You had the topic, do you think crying is a sign of weakness or strength? Now, you started off with repeating the question, which, when we're Toastmasters, we're like, that's a good way to kind of give us a sign of more time to think about what we're going to say. You were able to give examples why crying is a sign of strength. And in my opinion, when you have the 2 minutes, right, it's really good to be able to take one side or the other as a way to kind of give the audience just one idea in a sense. And you could even play devil's advocate, where if you think something is, you can go off course and play the opposite of even what you agree with and kind of throw the audience off for a loop maybe. And that's one of the areas I would have liked to see within this. But the cool thing is you did give a lot of ideas and a lot of situations and a lot of examples, which allowed us to kind of go through the story and hear your point of view. So what I would also like is one thing with your hands, you kept them here for a lot of the speech, right? Try to use them a little bit, right? When we're in this tiny little box, we don't have a lot of tools as we used to when we're in person. So use the tools that we have and kind of add more to the speech with the little hand gestures and a little bit of body movement in a sense, right? Because the idea is you could kind of gone into like a crying mode or even strength mode, right? You can kind of use that to your advantage within the speech. But fantastic job. Again, you really allowed the audience to think about really what you wanted to do. So well done. Narendra, you had the speech. What is the difference between living and existing? Now, I personally know Narendra, so having the ability to hear him always start off with a great amount of energy, and he welcomes the audience so warmly. You talked about living and existing with examples in the beginning with yourself and Rambutan and kind of just, being there. And this allows the audience to have a bit of imagery, which can kind of set the tone and setting of really what we want to hear. So that's always something you're really, really good at. Now, this advice is also similar to Kevin. I really would have enjoyed a solid stance on the difference between the two, right? Instead of allowing the audience, hey, depending on who you are, you can choose to live or exist. Try to take a strong stance, either way you want to go, because again, it's your speech. You get to kind of play it out whenever you want, right? So well done, I think, with bringing the energy and the imagery with your speech. Now, I hope I'm saying this right, and if I'm not, please correct me. Anurag? Is that right?
Anurag.
Anurag, okay. Now, you had this topic, would you break the law for someone you love? And I think maybe the audience and I, when you hear that, we automatically think of an answer. And that is something, when you're the speaker, you're controlling what kind of the audience is going to expect. You came right out with your position, with agreeing with the topic, right? Which is good. Now we don't have to guess, right? With a longer introduction, we want to know the answer to the question and then the why. And you kind of broke it out using a relevant issue about saving a loved one during COVID. And I think, you know, even with this, I was able to kind of go with you like, yeah, I would definitely break the law if something happened, you know, COVID, you know, it's like, what else you got? Either you're dead or you're not. And one thing I would have really liked with this topic, when you were especially talking about others and, you know, not having to go through the situation yourself, but when you're showing some empathy, I really would have liked maybe a little bit of vocal variety, showing a more somber moment, you know, understanding that, you know, you've seen people in your country where they're breaking the law because that's all they have, right? If their family dies, then what else? So having a different vocal variety and bringing it down and letting it slowing down a little bit would have added a little bit more to that dramatic effect, which would have been fantastic. But although, you know, it was a solid speech, really well done, and I really liked your perspective. Mala, you had the opportunity to talk about what has life taught you recently. And what you did right away is you jumped out with the topic with a hello. So you kind of knocked out two birds with one stone. You greeted the audience, but you also used it in your introduction as kind of like an opener, right? It got our attention. And then you changed it with your vocal variety, which allowed the audience, after being kind of shocked and surprised and greeted, to drop into this message that you had where you allowed the audience to learn and listen. So that's kind of the idea, right? Get their attention and then teach them. And with your pacing and your pausing, you really allowed us to kind of follow you throughout your speech. Now, one thing when we do like that pausing again, you want to have, when you're trying to transition to the next subject, you really want to kind of put yourself into that and really give yourself a little bit of time, right? A little bit of pausing, a little bit smoother to make that transition a little bit better. So great job again. I really loved the introduction and just the vocal variety and the kind of the pace you had. And Zafar, you had, what is the most defining moment in your life? You came and gave the audience something to connect with. We all have been children at one time. We've all done something where, you know, in a personal story where we got embarrassed, I think. Not one child has ever been embarrassed before. And you talked about how it affected your life until now, which is really important, right? It's one of those messages where we can connect to. We've all made these mistakes, made these decisions where, but you did it with the twist, right? Because you say, oh, that one moment changed my life because you quit, right? It's like, oh, I was going, okay, I think I know where he's going. I think I know where he's going. But you had a little twist at the end where it's like, I did, it changed my moment. I just quit. I can't get embarrassed ever again. But then you came back around full circle and brought in something relevant, a way to kind of promote yourself, which is great in Toastmasters. And the same thing, I would have really liked some more vocal variety. Because again, when you're a kid, we're all full of excitement and then the embarrassment. So excitement and embarrassment drop. That'd been really cool. And then bringing it back where, look at me now, look what I do now, would have been a kind of a hero's kind of story of overcoming obstacles. So that was a fantastic speech as well. I really enjoyed it. And I guess I'm going to go right into the winner, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so tough because I don't like being in this position, right? But you got to have a winner. That's the rules. And today I felt that Zafar, you won in this round. So well done. And to the others, you guys did great. You made it really tough. So very, very good. Oops. We know who won the second round.
Yes,
Good
can
job,
you
Zafar.
spotlight Jafar and take photo? Wait, give me a second. Let me remove Ben from spotlight. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One more time. Sorry. I have a lot of messages coming. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we got you. Thank you, Ben, for your evaluation. Now I would like to check if my second table topic evaluator is here. Oh, he's here. Okay, he just got blacked out just now and out of Zoom, but he's here. All right, I'd like to call the second table topic evaluator, Lufty.
Okay, thank you very much, Pipit. First of all, I would like to apologize that I just lost my connection due to power out or shortage. So I can only hear some of you from the 6 to 8 speakers. So I'm truly sorry I cannot give my full evaluation. The 6th speaker is Toastmaster Michael. I would like to say that the strength of your speech is about personal story. Personal story is always good because it's always relatable with people who listen to it. And I can see that you're in a very easy mood, easy listening speech. So it's really, really nice to hear. But to make your table topics speech even better, I would suggest that you add, you connect the values of your personal stories to the topics that you brought today. Now the 7th speaker that I listened to is Toastmaster Fatma. What I like from your speech is you give clear ideas on how to overcome poverty. So it's really spot on. And then I really like how you elaborate your ideas into your speech. So it's very good. And to make your speech even better for the next time, I would say that you might work on with your time management. So because we don't have much time in table topics, we only have 2 minutes. So, and then the last speaker that I can still listen to before I got this power sausage is Giuliani. And then the speech, I really like that you, despite of your condition, you struggle to get more friends in Toastmaster, because Toastmasters is indeed a very good place for you to brush up your English and also to find friends. And it's very good environment for you to do more. And then what I can suggest for you is to be more confident and then to add more vocabulary in your speech. As for the winner of the second session of the table topics, from my part, I would like to say that, can I announce it now, Pipit?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay, I would like to congratulate to Fatma for the best speaker of the table topics on my part. The reason why I choose her as best speaker is because I can see that she has a very clear ideas about her speech and also a very good vocabulary despite that she's wearing a mask. So all in all, thank you very much for all the contestants, for the participants. Thank you very much. Back to you, Pipit.
Hello, can we
Thank you so much.
remove the I in my name because I don't have the
Fatma.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Wait a second. I will take your photo.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Got it.
Thank you.
All right. Now, I'm actually surprised we are under time. So, Brahma, is it okay if I just for fun asking 2 more speakers?
We can start the handover because the next
Because
speaker.
we're
next
actually
speaker
6 minutes under time right now. Well,
the TTM can start the mic testing, the AV testing, and the roll takers. So we can start off the next session.
oh, okay, right.
You have to close the recording. You have to close the recording. The next TTM
Right,
will
right. I would like to close it first. Right. So thank you everyone for a wonderful session. And I thank the speakers and table topic evaluators and our timer for ensuring we have 1 hour of fun and fearless learning. You're welcome to stay logged in for the rest of the event. And to carry the event forward, we now have Toastmaster Andal and to carry on the next session. Thank you very much, everyone.